I know it's late, but welcome to my Wrestlemania Night 1 and 2 reactions and recap. We're just going to try to run through some of these matches and talk about it tonight. And that main event, I think that was I think my least favorite. And it's not because of the result, it's because it could have been a lot better. But because of the fact that when you watch the main event, if you guys saw that, it's signature, finisher, signature, finisher, finisher, signature, finisher, signature being exchanged from both the champions. So it's, I guess, a new era. I don't know now what's going to happen now. And it raises the question, what's going to happen next? Is The Rock going to come back? Is he going to return soon? Who knows what's going to be added next with these stipulations? And then just to start, see the first match. And then I know some of the webcam is going to block some of this, but some of the match results and whatnot. Took a couple little notes, some just how some of these matches end, like with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey being a controversial sort of ending, where she tapped out and basically the referee didn't see it, just things like that. And we're just gonna run through it, and just matches like the Usos taking on Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, who suffered a real injury. So this certain match, they didn't even have like a kickoff show or anything like that. It was cut short because of the injury that Rick suffered during the match. So it was supposed to go on longer for the kickoff match, or basically the main show for this particular championship match for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship. This was supposed to drag on for a little bit longer and be a much better match. It was still a good match either way, for both tag team divisions. And matches like with the Usos, with the Bloodline, as long as the Bloodline stays complete, you really don't have to watch any match that Roman Reigns is really involved in, because the Bloodline and the fate of the Usos determines the fate of Roman Reigns' championship, or the result of his match, of how things are going to go in regards of a championship being defended. If he's just facing someone in a one-on-one match, it doesn't even matter what kind of match he's in. As long as the Usos remain in champions, the Bloodline is going to remain complete and continue to be champions. So that's just something I really figured out, and it's just become predictable. But I'm curious to see who's going to step up next for these championships now that they're being unified, and now that the champions, both the Universal and the WWE Championship, are unified. Who's going to come out? Who's going to come out and be able to step up? But oh, wait a minute, there's not enough really other sort of opponents to be able to challenge for the championship, because of the sole fact that they had him win against almost everybody, and most of the people who were probably still around in the company have been released from the WWE and moved on to a show that they can shine and be who they want to be, and be able to get the opportunities that they deserve, instead of the same people over and over. So I guess that's what's gonna happen. So I don't know what's gonna be next. So let's just talk more about the matches and with the Usos and the retaining. So just like I said, for as long as they retain their championships, the bloodline stays complete. You don't really have to watch the main event or any sort of championship match that Roman Reigns is gonna be involved in. So it's like a dead giveaway. The Usos retain, it's a dead giveaway that the nothing's gonna happen to the Universal Championship now. But let's get on to the next match. I'm just going to run through some of these. I'm not going to try to spend too long with these matches, because some of these you can already tell who is going to probably end up winning. Like this match, for example, Drew McIntyre taking on Baron Corbin, but he's now known as Happy Corbin now for this. For this is just the first night, but you already know that Drew McIntyre was already going to win. And just matches like this, for example, you just know the result and what's going to happen. And then for something like this, the next match, the Mysterios Dominic Mysterio, I think he's gonna be a champion. I hope he gets his due, just like he did, and becomes a legend like Rey Mysterio. He definitely did. Just that match was just one of the best of night one, and they were taking on The Miz and Logan Paul. But just that ending with the skull crushing finale on Logan Paul, I wonder if that's gonna set up some kind of feud. I guess we'll find out tomorrow for Monday Night Raw to see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna have him stay in the company? Is he gonna be in matches now and part of the WWE? We don't know. But I was expecting like the Mysterios to end up winning as far as the matches, because it's it was as if it was some kind of, they were the heroes, and it was their moment to be able to be in the spotlight, or father and son in the WrestleMania spotlight. So this was really surprising to see that the Miz and Logan Paul ended up winning this particular match. So I don't know what's going to be next. Is this going to be an ongoing feud? Is it going to continue tomorrow? Or is it going to be some kind of rematch? But I guess you can basically say that the tag team match, or basically the the tag team duo between the Miz and Logan Paul, is over now, because the Miz just basically destroyed him with his finisher going towards the end. So was that like a face turn for him? I wonder, and it just has me curious about what's gonna happen next. But the Raw Women's Championship match is our next match to talk about. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. And I already knew Bianca was going to win. She deserves to be a champion. And I don't get why they did her dirty at SummerSlam, having her lose in 26 seconds. They definitely had to redo that whole sort of situation, and have her defend her title and just lose in that kind of fashion. It would have been much better. Even if she was gonna lose, it could have been a much longer match, but then you just have her do a finisher and just end the match right off the bat. That was a little bit too early, of too quick of a finish for a SummerSlam surprise opponent to be able to step into the spotlight. That's gonna make a crazy return. And speaking of returns, who knows what's gonna happen now that Bianca Belair is the new Raw Women's Champion? Is Asuka gonna make a return? Is Bailey gonna come back and all of a sudden be a part of Raw, even though she's probably a part of SmackDown? Who knows what's gonna happen next? And that's why I always get excited about the Raw, or the main shows after WrestleMania, because there's always surprise returns, and it just leaves the question: who's gonna step up next? What's gonna happen next? Is it gonna be new feuds? Is it gonna be new storylines? Is it gonna be fresh storylines? Or fresh superstars to come up and challenge for these championships? We don't know what's going to happen. And I think this match, I think this was my all-time favorite. I knew it was going to be Cody Rhodes after hearing the rumors about it for Seth Rollins. Oh, he does have a WrestleMania moment. He's definitely going to have. It's going to be somebody that we least expect. I'm just glad. I'm going to just say this. It's nice to see Cody Rhodes, even though he's not in AEW anymore. He's the American Nightmare. This match was the best. I think this was my favorite match of the whole entire event. It was nice to see Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. They went at it. The American Nightmare. So this is gonna be cool. So can't wait to see what he says. What Seth Rollins' reaction tomorrow. See what he's gonna do. Is he gonna challenge him again? It's gonna be another good match, regardless of who comes out on top. So maybe Cody Rhodes would probably end up being a champion at some point. But I was gonna say, I'm glad it wasn't gonna be Goldberg to come back and just be able to come in and just be able to just return just out of nowhere. We don't want to see that. So Seth Rollins versus Goldberg out of nowhere. I'm just glad it wasn't him, because we already seen that already before. We don't want to see some kind of match and it has so many heights. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. We didn't want to see another legend come up out of nowhere and just destroy his moment right off the bat. This was a really good match. I think if you're gonna watch anything, I think Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes was the match of the night for night one. And not even just that, I like the other different just the results of it, just everything that was going on, just with the move spot and stuff like that, and the series of crossroads and different signatures being exchanged. But it was just so many, it was so competitive, it was just so much hype going on. But I never expected to see someone like Cody Rhodes come back. I thought he was going to stay in AEW, but Cody Rhodes ended up winning this match, and surprisingly, just any sort of surprise returning superstar is guaranteed to win any sort of match that they come back on. So I guess it was like a no-brainer right off the bat. But just like I already mentioned a little bit earlier, just skipping ahead, Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Um, Charlotte Flair ended up winning this match out of some controversy because she already tapped out, but the referee didn't see it. The referee doesn't see Charlotte tapping out to the armbar, that armbar submission that that Ronda Rousey does, the submission that she puts in for her special to put away her opponents and break their arms and whatnot. So Ronda Rousey was gonna win this match, but I knew something was gonna happen with that. Once that referee was out, and the referee doesn't see cannot make cannot make the count for a pin, and he's not available to be able to witness the submission of the opponent just giving in and tapping out to the opponent to concede. It's just like you already know what's gonna happen once the referee goes out. Someone's gonna cheat. Someone's gonna do something cheap to just try to win and steal the victory. So she ended up stealing this win at WrestleMania. So it's probably gonna be another rematch. So it's almost guaranteed that Ronda Rousey is probably gonna end up challenger, and again, it's probably going to be a different stipulation, but we don't know. Ronda Rousey is a Monday Night Raw superstar, so maybe she'll probably come out tomorrow night and probably try to issue another challenge. Could be another match at SummerSlam, potentially. Maybe other superstars might get involved and want some of that gold. So let's get into the next one. Um, the main event was just basically Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back. Stone Cold. It was awesome to see this. Just all the nostalgia just coming in, and I'm glad this wasn't just part of the Kevin Owens show. It turned out to be a real match. He wanted him to show up to WrestleMania so he can challenge him to a real match. So it ended up turning into a no holds bar match. It was a little bit of exchange on a microphone, part of his the KO show and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just glad it turned into a real match. I really enjoyed this. And Steve Austin still got some good moves. So he could still come back and still probably technically compete. So he not only came back for night one, but he had a later appearance for night two for a certain situation that was pretty funny. So this was a nice little ending for it. And just a nice little way to end night one. This was another highlight just outside of just Cody Rhodes making it back and returning to the WWE. I like that we got to see Stone Cold Steve Austin make his appearance and get into the ring and just take out the ring rust after what 19 years, I think it was something like that. But it was such a good match and just everything, even with regardless of results, it was such a good night of a full night of great matches and just well put together. And I think this is one of the best events that I've seen, at least for this whole little stipulation. But now we're gonna move on to night two. I was trying to scroll down. So night two is RK Bro versus Street Profits, and I thought it was closing out for some reason. But RK Bro versus Profits and the Alpha Academy for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I knew that RK Bro was going to end up retaining. This is too good of a duo to break up. RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle. Really good tag team champions. They're funny to watch, and it's so much fun to really see them in the promos for the matches and just the dialogue between them. It's just they're best friends, and I'm sure eventually it's gonna come to an end. But this is one of my favorite tag team duos outside of DX, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and so many more iconic tag teams. The Hardys are part of AEW now, so no more of that. But RK Bro ended up retaining their championships and from this particular match, and just the I think it was like a super RKO that Matt Riddle ended up doing on was it Montez Ford on off the turnbuckle. I think that was pretty cool. And then once um I think it was Chad Gable. He tried to jump off the turnbuckle. Randy ended up catching him in an RKO. So they both had their own little unique highlighted of RKOs to deliver to the opponents of their opposing tag teams in this match. So this was the first start of the match. And night two, it was good, but I think night one was a little bit better, in my honest opinion, in comparison to the night. So this was just the first match to kick it off. Almost versus Bobby Lashley. I thought Almost was gonna end up winning, but he's always undefeated. Now that was gonna end comes to end with Bobby Lashley returning, and this was a decent match. Way better than our main event at least. But it was nice to see. I wonder if Bobby Lashley's gonna probably try to get back into the title hunt. What's up with the Hurt Business? They never should have just destroyed that, in my opinion. The Hurt Business is such a good stable as well for a tag team, but it's like they just been thrown to the wolves and they don't care about them anymore. And I would have loved to see MVP make an appearance at WrestleMania. You know, he's cool. He's good on the mic. It would have been cool to have him at ringside to watch Bobby Lashley just during this particular match. So Bobby Lashley ends up coming out on top and shutting down almost his undefeated streak, where he's been so dominant every Monday night and just destroying opponents, and even just defeating the Viking Raiders in the 2-on-1 contest. So this was nice to see too. So maybe he's gonna come back and challenge for the title. It's just so many other superstars that are gonna be worthy to be able to get involved in the match. This was, I thought this match was gonna be goofy. Is it Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville? I think this was the funniest match. This is the funniest match of the show and the most goofiest match. they had they had all the crew from the movie, or Johnny Knoxville's crew. That's what I'll really say. In an anything goes match, there was just mouse traps and all types of stuff, and something that really kicked Sami Zayn, where he's not in the places. I'm not even gonna say that, but it was so much fun to watch. I think this is the funnest match to watch out of everything else. Even though I liked Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins the best out of all the matches on the card, Johnny Knoxville. I think this really was the show stealers on the lowest of keys for night two. This is one of the funniest match. I don't even want to spoil anything. Just the mouse traps and just the crew getting involved and helping out Johnny Knoxville in the match. I really enjoy I enjoyed this. This was crazy. And I want to just say something so bad. One of the crew members even picked up Sami Zayn and did a little suplex on him. It was just so much fun to watch this match. I definitely would recommend watching this again. I think I'll probably go back and watch it again. But this is so much fun. I think this was a really good game, a really good match for night two. I just thought it was honestly going to be something that's just a throwaway match. I said, why is this even happening? They're going to have Johnny Knoxville in the WWE to compete against another WWE superstar. So Johnny Knoxville ended up winning thanks to his crew getting involved into the match to help him. And it was anything goes, so there's no disqualification. You can use anything during the match, and even you can have outside help from, outside interference. So that's basically what happened throughout the match with Johnny Knoxville's crew getting involved in the match. I think this was really fun to really watch and funny. But definitely check this match out for sure. But this was just one of the most obvious championships. We got the women's tag team championships being defended. Sasha Banks and Naomi taking on, well, they weren't champions yet, but Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and you got Zelina Vega, Queen of the Ring, who won the Queen of the Ring tournament. Zelina Vega and Carmella versus Shayna Baszler and I think I messed her last name up, so I'll probably have to change that. Shayna Baszler and Natalia in the women's tag team championship fatal 4-way match. Now, it's just like I already mentioned, some of these matches you already know who's gonna win. You got I already knew Sasha Banks and Naomi was just destined to win this match, so they end up becoming the new women's tag team champions. And so now, I think they're gonna hold these titles for quite some time, until they have that fallout just with RK Bro. Same what I said with them. That's another good duo. This is gonna be another unique tag team duo that's gonna be really unstoppable and really good chemistry between Naomi and Sasha Banks. So they're gonna hold these titles for a while, I think. And I think until that moment when it comes where they start having a fallout, that's when they're probably going to end up losing those titles at some point. Can't really say that's going to be anytime soon, but since they just got it and they went all the way to WrestleMania to become champions, this is going to be a good duo. So unless they have a tag team that cheats to win or something at some point, that's another alternative I see when it comes to this sort of tag team division or this tag team duo with Sasha Banks and Naomi. Unless they have a little fallout during the storyline at some point down the road, or unless the opponent somehow cheats to win, that's when they're probably going to end up dropping these titles. And this was a match that I was looking forward to seeing. Edge versus AJ Styles. I wanted AJ Styles to win. I don't know about anybody else out there, but apparently Damian Priest, he didn't even have a match here at WrestleMania. So it looks like they're gonna probably be forming a brand new stable because he ended up getting distracted. Well, AJ Styles gets distracted by Damian Priest, allowing Edge to capitalize with a spear from midair to put away Edge. Well, I said put Edge to put away Edge. Edge to put away AJ to come out as the victory as the victor. So I don't know what kind of stable this is gonna be. Is he gonna be uh, the master teaches the student sort of thing, where Edge is gonna um, be guiding Damian Priest to victory, and he's gonna follow his footsteps or something like that. I don't know what's gonna happen with this. I really wanted AJ to really win this match, but it seems like they're trying to do something with it. I have no idea what kind of stable. Who else are they gonna get more people to join? You know, that's Damian Priest and Edge. Who else could probably fit their stable? Who knows? They might end up starting to recruit people. Almost similar to how like, you got all these different other just stables that they had, like the Nexus. I really like that. The Nexus, that was one of my favorite stables. The Shield and so much more. Maybe they're gonna probably do something unique with Edge and Damian Priest. Guess we'll find out tomorrow. Let's see what they're gonna do. Maybe they'll start going after championships too. They could go after the tag team championships as well. The Raw tag team champions. It could be Damian Priest and Edge becoming tag team champions to challenge RK Bro. That sounds like a pretty good just a tag team match that they could set up. Um, the New Day versus Sheamus and Rich Holland. It sucks that the New Day lost, but I think they're really trying to give a lot of momentum to Sheamus and Rich Holland, and then I forgot his name. His name was originally from NXT, Pete Dunne. I want him to be his own individual competitor. So like every time somebody come over to from NXT, they just get thrown around. So I don't even know what they're gonna really do for him. But I think they gave him a different name from Monday Night Raw since he's part of or at least Friday Night SmackDown, since he's with Sheamus and Rich Holland for this little stable. But I'm just making it a little bit like the aggressive guy, just punching and just trying to hurt people and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really like this match. Pat McAfee, he's really athletic. He can get a championship. He got some good moves. And even when I didn't even think he was capable of all this stuff in the WWE until I watched him go against Adam Cole way back on NXT when Adam Cole was still in the business at the time. So during that little feud with Adam Cole and Pat McAfee, I just knew that I knew his in-ring capability after watching him perform in that match. That was really good. So I'm glad he beat Austin Theory. And then out of nowhere, after this little match, it turned into Vince McMahon taking the suit off, getting involved in the match, trying to flex. He got involved in the match. And he challenged Pat McAfee, but of course he had help from Austin Theory as a distraction, and it allowed Vince McMahon to capitalize and pin him and just end up winning. But guess who came out? It was Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out and avenge Pat McAfee and do a stunner on Austin Theory. Austin Theory went flying. He just sold it so well. He just went sky high. So it was fun. It was so funny. But I think just speaking of the stunner, it just when Vince McMahon was when Stone Cold Steve Austin was about to stun Vince McMahon, he messed it up so bad. He went down too early. He had to chase him and put him up against the ropes. Well, he chased him against the ropes. It's like Vince McMahon was trying to get away from him and go down too early. He completely messed up his stunner. So it was just really funny to see that. And every time he does it, every time a stunner is performed on a McMahon, it always seems to go wrong for some reason. But y'all got to check that out. Just when he's about to stun, when Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out there and he stuns Vince McMahon, I just like how he had to chase him a little bit. He had to go after him a little bit just to try to get him into the finish. But it was just fun. It was just really fun. A really good match, and a good little redemption, some revenge for Stone Cold Steve Austin to avenge Pat McAfee, who was attacked and ambushed by Austin Theory after post match, and then just assisting Mr. McMahon to allow him to win against Pat McAfee. So it was so much fun, really, to watch this all over again. So I didn't expect him to come back on 2 nights in a row, and it was awesome how they wrote this in for a little cool little spotlight, and more of a spotlight for Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I don't really have to talk about this match, the winner take all match, winner take all championship. It was already written in the stars that Roman Reigns was gonna already end up winning this championship, and I just don't know what they're gonna do with this as far as the storyline. And is The Rock gonna probably magically come back? What's up with all these legends coming back out of nowhere? Maybe he's the one that's gonna be out and probably try to challenge Roman Reigns and probably want a taste of gold, but that's why I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen tomorrow. And this main event just what it's just not worth really talking about that much because it was just like I said in the beginning, signature, finisher, and you got a couple of suplexes here for Suplex City. I like seeing that, but it's just like what is there to really get excited for when you already know what's gonna happen? Because just like I said in the beginning, it is written in the stars. Once the Usos retain their championship, they have to complete that bloodline. So whatever the fate of the Usos is connected to Roman Reigns, so you know what's gonna happen. It's not really a surprise. So I want to see new champions. I want to see someone else be able to step up, and that's why all these superstars are leaving the company because they're not getting the chances that they deserve, the opportunities that they deserve. That's why they shining over on AEW. Look at guys like Samoa Joe that's already been over there. And now, who did they recently release? Tony Storm. Tony Storm is over there now. You got William Regal over there, just part of Daniel Bryan or um, the American Dragon, Brian Danielson, and Dean Ambrose, or basically John Moxley, that's over there on AEW. All of those superstars that we watched on WWE is over there shining on AEW, and it's only going to continue to get worse when those superstars don't get their chances and the opportunities that they want. So they request their release and they want to get up out of there. So who could blame them? And it's just like I want to see more champions. I want to see more people stop and rise up to the occasion. And look, Ricochet finally getting the championship. Is that going to be the end all be all for him? Is he going to not be able to get the main championship? He's so athletic and all that talent. You got all that talent in the locker room and you're not going to utilize that. Of course they're going to walk away and go somewhere else that they can shine. So it's just things like that that really just bothers me about some of these main events. This is not a main event. How is a match like Johnny Knoxville outshining your main event? That's not a main event. You hype it up, y'all hype it up. It's the winner take all match. It's the biggest match in history, and then kind of find out it's so short and sweet, and just it's not. It can be other matches like Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. That could have been a main event. That's main event level matches. You see how long that match went, and that was only on night one. Night one is so much better than night two. Some of these matches in night two should have taken place. It should have been moved to night one, while some of the matches that was high caliber with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes out of nowhere, that could have been something that could have been high caliber right off the bat to be into night two. That could have been so much better. See what I'm saying? So that could be so much of a better idea for the writers to implement these type of matches, so that way it's easier for them and it's much of a bigger show to attract more higher ratings. But matches like the main event, I just don't think it was worth really watching. So just like I said, the Usos carrying that bloodline, and just anything that happens to them is gonna happen to Roman. So, I mean, that's all I can really say as far as the main event. Wasn't the main event. It could have been a lot better, and hopefully we'll be able to see more champions, more new champions, new talent arise today. Who knows who's gonna return? Is The Rock gonna come back? Who knows? But I'm curious to see what they're gonna do next for these storylines and what kind of feuds are they gonna set up.